Well. Hello everybody, my name is Kirkland, or Dino from PC F2, and I'm probably a voice that you haven't heard in a while. I am back for a one-off appearance today in Hungary, as Voy is actually going to be racing today. So let's see how he fares with the rest of the grid. Like I already said, today's track is the Hungaroring in Hungary, a track which has a street track feel, but is far from a street track, because the barriers are not really too close to the tarmac. The track has 14 turns, 4 slow speed, 7 medium speed, and 3 fast speed corners, and 2 DRS zones. So you can already see by that information that the overtaking opportunities are very uncommon, and they have to be planned ahead. So mainly going into turn 1, maybe going into turn 3 with the second DRS zone, but we're gonna have to wait and see. It's also a very tight track, only just sparing 2 cars going side by side, so you have to be very careful and be very trustful of your rival to not push you off track. Today we have the C2, C3 and C4 tires available for today, and the intermediates and the wets here if we needed them, and Hungary is mostly known for the wet weather conditions. Last time in Spain we also saw a champion being decided, actually in between Spain and this race, so so to say in the mid-season. So Tony Rich has taken the title as Irvin Corton has left the league. He basically just banned himself. So the driver's title goes to Tony. So congratulations to him, and with that all of the way, let's wait for qualifying to begin, and we should be very close actually for that. So give me just one moment to set everything up, and let me just check if the volume is okay. Nice. Okay, so everything's good by my point of view, looks like actually. So let's see. So if anyone's joining now, hello, welcome. You probably know me, probably don't know me. I'm just here for a one-off appearance, as I haven't commentated in a long time, and Voy is going to be racing today. So yeah, basically you've been caught up to speed. So yeah, we currently have 19 out of 20 drivers. I think we are just waiting for one more driver, and then we will be ready to go. Unfortunately, because this call has been pretty late for me to do commentary, I didn't have enough time to set up the F1 thingy, the GUI that Voy has for his streams, so unfortunately you're not gonna see that, but I don't think it's gonna matter too much. We still are gonna have enough information on our screens to indicate a lot of stuff. But I am gonna try to set it up for next time, if there is actually gonna be a next time. So yeah, let's just do this. Give me just one moment. Also, you can type in chat if you can hear me well, if you can hear the game well. The game volume is not up yet, but you can just type in chat that, just to be sure everything is good. Just so we are 100% sure everything is working well. There we go. The game volume should be here. Let me just do this. I'm just having to prepare a lot of things because it's been a long time since I've commentated last in Ero. I think it was like Austria time in this season. It's been a long time. So I'm having to set up everything. So I'm gonna be the only one commentating today. So yeah, that's gonna be fun. So yeah, I think I mentioned everything. I think. Thank you, Cameron Zad, for saying that sound is perfect. I am very appreciative of that. I really do appreciate it. And by the looks of it, we should be starting. The right sound is louder. Let me check that very quickly. Let's see. Okay, I don't think we actually have enough time to set that up, but thank you for clearing that out. I'm gonna get that fixed for next time, so thank you anyways. Also, Fairy, you didn't accept my invite on Steam. You're the only person here that doesn't have a nickname, as you can see here. But again, thank you for clearing that out. And there we go, we have 20 out of 20 drivers, we should be going away pretty soon. So let's just wait for that. Let me check if we're starting. Also, sorry by the black screen when I tab out. I really don't know why that keeps happening. So after I enter, it's gonna go back to normal. So don't worry about that. But yeah, we are starting. So yeah. We are going on to the qualifying session, which is gonna be a short qualifying session, so 18 minutes, and then it is gonna set the grid for the race, which is gonna be 50% of the real race, so 35 laps of racing, which is kind of a lot. But Hungary is a pretty short track. I think the lap times are around 1 minute 16, somewhere around that point. So yeah, it's not really too much. So it kind of makes sense that we have more laps. So yeah. Nah, it's fine, it's fine. I was just joking, but just in case that boy doesn't give you any penalty points, because you know how much he loves to award those. It's okay, Fairy, really, it is. At least you had a good meal before the race. I hope you didn't overeat, so now you can't race. But looks like we have a dry session, which is nice to see. So yeah, we do have 3 soft compounds provided and 1 medium compound in the race. So, or not in the race, in qualifying. So it is gonna be. Oh wait, we also have hards. When do we have hards? Interesting, I didn't even know that. But let's see who is gonna be the first guy to go out on track. We see a Ferrari actually going out, and yeah, he's gonna be the first guy. I think that is actually Arjen Bilbas, and just ahead of him actually goes Yanni Ducro. So let's keep on board with him as first guy out on track. So let's see if the stream quality is good, and yeah, it is. Okay. Let's also check the volume very quickly. Okay, I think I need to up the game volume a little bit more, so I'm just gonna do that very quickly. There we go. So, thank you everyone who is joining this late. This is Ero Pc F1. My name is Kickerlin, or Dino from PC2. I'm probably not the voice that you are known to hear, as Voy is the main commentator in PC1. I'm just here for a one-off appearance, so this is basically just to get back up to speed. Oh, these two are battling. What are these two doing? Okay. So Bilbas and Ducro going side by side, as Bilbas has actually overtaken him to start the first lap of this qualifying session. So let's keep on board with him as he crosses the finish line to start. So this is the longest straight on the calendar, the first DRS zone. It's around 800 meters, you brake at around 70 or 100, opening the DRS at the beginning or at the exit of the first turn, and now going into turn 3. You want to go to third or fourth gear, it gives you the most traction out of the corner. Turn 4, I think this is. And now turn 5, one of the most difficult corners actually, because it can really unsettle your car if you take a different line, so you want to attack it as much as possible. We see purple sector 1, but that is of course because he is the first guy out on track. We also see a yellow flag, but that's because people are slowing down. Sector 2, very difficult. You want to have a very high downforce because you're going to understeer out of the track. And then finishing sector 2, a 54.1 split, that's not too bad. Now here you wanna also have fourth gear for the best traction, and now we go into the final 2 hairpins, which are very difficult. There are many different lines you can take in them to give you enough speed. But now as he opens the final DRS and cross the finish line, a 115.7, Ducros follows him right behind with a 116.0, and we see a Williams right behind, which is Harrington on mediums actually, a 117.2, and the other Williams of Pavlakovic with a 17.0, Heinen in the Alpha Tauri 116.7, and Dempsey, the esports driver, on mediums 115.9, which is very competitive. I think we might see who our pole sitter is going to be. But let's see here, we see a Red Bull going to the pits, so that's not gonna be a lap time finished. Also Ferry in the Aston Martin is just starting his lap. But now we see Tony Rich, the champion this season, who crossed the finish line and doesn't take provisional pole, misses out by 50 thousandths of a second. But there is still enough time to set a lap. So let's see who is next. Robertson 116.6 puts him in P7. Not too bad for the Haas driver. We also see Voy crossing the finish line 116.5, and the other McLaren of Slivka has done a 360, sort of the same thing that Vettel did in 2014, which he also avoided the wall. We also see another Haas of Andrews just starting his lap, and the Alfa Romeo of Vigali getting a little bit of slipstream by the Haas, who is the only guy on hards, which is very interesting. Like I said, I didn't even know that hards are available for the qualifying session, because they did a patch, or they put a patch very recently, which put mediums that you can use in qualifying, but I didn't know that hards are also here as an option. But currently the grid is looking pretty competitive. We see people being very close. I think we might see a very tight battle for the provisional pole position, and then for the pole position at the end, which is very nice to see. Also some people on mediums, trying to see how they fare. But speaking of the mediums, the tire heating is a very big problem on this track. So you can overheat your tires very easily, and there are no ways that you can cool them down, because the corners just come at you all the time. So keeping the tires at the right temperature window and maybe reducing the tire pressures, trust me, you're gonna make your life a whole lot easier. As we see, Andrew is crossing the finish line, 117.2, puts himself at P13. Probably not at the place that he wants to be, but like I said before, still enough time to set a lap. And Gali improves by a little bit, but still 3 seconds of the pace off of the next car ahead. So still a lot of time to improve, as Jonathan Foss is in sector 2. Let's see next. Ryan Grob starts his lap in the Red Bull. Next we see the Alpha Tauri of Heinen, I think that is, as well as an Aston Martin goes into the pit lane. And I think this actually gives me enough time to change the name of Ferry. So give me just one moment, and we're just gonna rejoin the lobby. Let's do this. Okay. I'm just gonna leave the lobby and rejoin back again. So give me just one moment to fix everything, and I'm doing this now because there's not a lot of people out on track who are on their out laps or on their fast laps. So this is, I think, the perfect time to just fix things that weren't fixed before, and we are just gonna go away and keep with the action. Also, sorry if I'm repeating some stuff. It has been a while since I've commentated, so I'm trying to get used to a bunch of stuff. Because this, yeah, it's a bit confusing. But yeah, we are rejoining. Let's hope that it's gonna be changed, and we can just go on the way. And there we go, it's fixed. Let's... Okay, so what has happened while I was gone? Jonathan Foss finished his lap, put himself into P8 and spun in the pit lane. That's a nice showing. You have to be careful to not do that in the race, as we see Sammy Knuckle actually put himself on provisional pole with a very competitive 1:15.2. That is actually 6/10 off of the world record in time trial, which is very nice to see. This is a very competitive time from the Mercedes driver. Sort of showing the pace that Mercedes had in real life, as well as Russell took pole position in Hungary this year. But let's see if Dempsey is gonna be able to do that. Let's keep on board with the esports driver as he just starts his lap. We see a Red Bull just letting him through. He's taking a very interesting line going into turn 1, short shifting to 4th like you do, which gives you the best possible traction. Also hugs the outside curb a lot, which is very interesting. I normally don't do that, but maybe that's why I'm slow and he's fast. Going into turn 5, I think that is improving by 2/10. That's not too much, but you cannot really gain too much time in sector 1. The most time is gonna be gained in the sector 2 alone, as we saw a Alfa Romeo spun around, which I think is Fagali, but Dempsey's having very nice lines here. Using 6th gear in every single corner, improves by 4/10, the fastest sector 2 out of anyone. Let's see if he's gonna be able to make it all up in sector 3, as he doesn't have a lot of ERS left to use, as Cameron Dowds goes into P2. But let's see here, having a very tight line in the final corner, and he crossed the finish line. It is gonna be P2, 0.005 of a second to his teammate in P1. I think Mercedes are showing very good pace today, which is very nice to see. But also you cannot count out the Aston Martins, as now Wagner has also put lap time for P4, which is also nice to see. But the constructors is already done and dusted, with Red Bulls of Tony and Irvin already taking it like 5 races before. Like, they were very dominant this season. But we also saw Tony getting purple sector 2, so let's see how much he's gonna improve this lap. He has to improve 0.5 if he wants to put himself on pole position, or just 0.4 to put himself in the podium places, and only P4 for the Red Bull improves 3 positions. I think there is still a lot of time to gain by the Red Bull driver, but 6 minutes left until the end of the session. I think one more run is gonna be enough. And you always wanna save a set of softs in the race, because you only get 3 sets in qualifying. Those sets also come, or they are also used in the race. So if you don't use one set in qualifying, you're gonna have, of course, one fresh set in the race. So it's always nice to have one fresh set, especially here in Hungary, as the softs do provide you a lot of time compared to the other tires. But honestly, softs are pretty useless on this game, which they really have to fix. because in real life they can last way longer than in this game. But let's see here. Owen Heinen in the AlphaTauri, currently sitting in P18, has to improve a lot of time to get himself up to the competitive places and to the midfield. Let's see as he crosses the second sector, 7/10. That's a big improvement. That's gonna put him in P9. Let's see how much time he's gonna get in this in the third sector. He's not using third gear like we saw Drake or Knuckle use, I think. So he's using much higher gears, and it's gonna be a 1:15.8. Puts himself into P8 in front of his teammate Luke Mills, currently in P16. So I think that's a pretty good showing here. You always want to finish ahead of your teammate in qualifying. That is one of the first objectives that you wanna achieve. As we see one of the Williamses just start their laps. It is it is Harrington. So I think we can just go on board with him, but we also see Fagali still on those hards. He has been on those hards from the beginning, and I really don't know what he's doing. And he's still staying out. If he stays out one more... Oh, he crashes. If he stays out one more lap and spins so much, I don't think he's gonna have enough time to even do a lap on the softs. Or maybe there's something in the background that happened that I'm unaware of. But not a lot of people out on track, as we see Bill Bass starting his lap. Owen is probably on his in lap. Yeah, he's not using any ERS. So yeah, it is gonna be the Williams of Harrington, so let's keep on board with him. And as we keep on board with him, the grid is looking very, very close. We see like 5/10 a gap to P1 to P6, then the midfield from Wagner to like Luke Mills is only separated by 5/10. This is gonna be a very interesting race. I think this is only gonna be decided by the strategy calls that we're gonna see as Harrington goes in. And speaking of strategy calls, a normal, medium to hard, and hard to medium, a one-stop is definitely on the cards if you want to do that. You can also do a two-stop, but I don't think that's gonna provide you a lot of opportunities later on. That's really not what you want to do, unless there are gonna be safety cars near the end of the race or in the beginning. Then maybe you can do a two-stop. But a two-stop is just out of the cards. You don't really want to use that. And yeah, that's basically the strategy. And the fuel usage is not really too much here. You can have a little bit more than the optimal, and you're gonna finish the race with almost to none fuel saving. But Bale Bass crosses the finish line with 1:15.6. Pretty good lap time here from the Ferrari, as his teammate is not really having a good time in P18. So let's see if he's gonna be able to improve, as there is 2.5 minutes left in the qualifying session, as we see Pavlakovic blocking the pit exit, being disqualified by letting Jonathan through. That is very unfortunate and very interesting how the game decided that. That is very unfortunate for the Williams. But let's see here who is next to cross the line. Wait, Fagali still didn't go in. What is he doing? There are 2.5 minutes left until the end of the qualifying session. He's not gonna do a lap on the softs. Anyways, let's see. I think Voy is gonna do another lap. So I think next to cross the line is actually Jonathan Foss. So let's keep on board with him, as he's gonna get blocked by the Haas. Oh, thankfully he doesn't, as Andrews retire. Oh, Andrews I think hit. Yeah, there is a collision between Andrews and Voy, which has retired Andrews. That's gonna provide a little bit of controversy, as Jonathan Foss has improved, puts himself into P10 right in the midfield, probably not where you wanna be. That's gonna be very hard to avoid any incidents going into turn 1, as Knuckle improves on his pole time, a 1:15.0, very good showing by the Mercedes driver here. As Marvin Murr, I think, starts his lap in the Alpine. No, that's actually the other Alpine of Berlini. So let's see what he can do. We see a Aston Martin crossing the finish line, but also starting his lap. Yeah, that is Wagner. Owen Heinen is finishing his lap, improves by 9/10, which probably isn't by how much he improved. 1:15.8. Puts himself into P8 in front of Voy and Jonathan Foss, as Voy also retires in the pit lane. And let's see, next we have the other AlphaTauri of Luke Mills, who finishes his lap but doesn't improve. Then Harrington is starting his lap, and Ducrow is next to cross the line but hasn't improved, unfortunately. But he still has, I think, enough ERS to do another lap, as the qualifying session is over. So everyone who hasn't been able to start their laps now is gonna be demoted, as Cameron Douds across the finish line puts himself into P2. Unfortunately not pole position, as he misses out by half a tenth, but still a P2 puts him on the front row of the grid. And next we have, I think, Borlini, who just spun at the final corner. Then we have Dempsey, who retired. No, that was Knuckle, I think. I don't know. Wagner across the finish line doesn't improve. Grob in the Red Bull does improve, puts himself into P4 in front of his teammate. Very good showing for the first time in the Red Bull. As I think Owen also did another lap, put himself into P7. We see a McLaren going into the pits, and the final few guys that are gonna cross the finish line are going to be Luke Mills, who is about to, with a 1:16.0, puts himself into P12. Not good showing by the AlphaTauri, but probably the place that he expected to be. And that's everyone. Yeah, that is everyone. So this was an interesting qualifying session. Also very interesting that from P1 to P8 is only separated by 6/10, meaning that we are gonna have a pretty tight battle for the podium places. I think it's anyone's game today, who is gonna be on the podium and who's gonna win. I think we have a lot of very good contenders. Also Owen showing some pretty good pace in Hungary. From previous seasons we already know that Owen really likes Hungary, and this is his type of track. So seeing him pretty high up the field is not really too unfamiliar. But Sami Knuckle has taken pole position for today's Hungarian Grand Prix, with Cameron Douds right behind him, securing the front row of the grid. Drake Dempsey takes P3, Grob P4, Rich P5, Bilbas P6, Owen P7, Wagner P8, Moore P9, Smigowski with a 5-place grid penalty P10, so he's gonna start P15, Foss in P11, Mills in P12, Ducros in P13, Harrington P14, Borlini P15, Robertson P16, Slivka P17, Andrews P18, Vegali P19, and I actually finished in time because Pavlakovic is P20. I was trying to rush because I saw that that's a tongue twister. That the timer was going off. Try saying that 5 times. So at least we did everything, but we see a dry session for the race, so that's nice to see. But maybe we're gonna see some rain at the end. All is to be seen. Like I said in the beginning of the stream, Hungary is very known to have pretty interesting wet weather conditions. Also in real life, with the Bottas incident, like crashing into everyone into turn 1, and then Hamilton starting the only one on the grid. Fun times when we had a good championship battle in the drivers. But yeah, as we wait for the drivers to set their strategies, set how much fuel they wanna have, let me just check in chat a little bit. In defense of Luke and Johnny, they spent the last 2 days playing ACC. ACC is the best. Actually, I don't know if ACC is the best. game, but I know it's better than this game, which is garbage. Dino Brave, nice. Oh yeah, we don't have the formation lap, so we have 4 and 5 red lights. It's not a long hold up, and we are underway for the Hungarian Grand Prix. Looks like Knuckle has actually gotten a pretty good start, but Cameron Dowds actually gets a better one. He is gonna have the inside line. Let's see if he's gonna take it. We also see Jake Dempsey trying to go for the outside line, but he was blocked by his own teammate, and we see Knuckle and Dowds still going side by side. We see a lot of people behind also going side by side. Knuckle has the inside line going into turn 3. Is he gonna be able to make it stick and maybe give his teammate also the opportunity? But no. Dowds has taken the lead for the race in the first lap, so very good showing by Cameron here. But Dempsey is also keeping pressure to his teammate. Looks like maybe he is more confident in this race program than Knuckle, as we see also people behind just sparing positions, as we see contact between Owen Heinen and Wagner, which also gives Foss a free position, who pushes him off the track. We see also our first retirement with a collision between Ducros and Berlini, which also brings us the virtual safety car. I wonder what happened there, but looks like Ducro doesn't have any wing damage, or I mean, he did have a lot of understeer going into that corner, so I really don't know. But that was a lot of action in those first couple of corners. But while we have the virtual safety car, a lot of people have gone into the pit lane, so a lot of collisions have been happening while I was focusing on the front 3. Looks like we have Slivka, Robertson and Ducro going into the pit lane, which is very unfortunate for them, but at least they're not gonna lose too much time because it's a virtual safety car. But I think for them, they wanted to have a full safety car. But yeah, a lot of people have started on hards, so and a few people also on mediums. But now Slivka, Robertson and Ducro have pitted for mediums. You do get, I think, 2 fresh sets of mediums in the race now. I think that was also changed, but I'm not really sure. I'm honestly not keeping in touch with the updates on this game because I don't play it as often, because it's just so bad. But we have green flag. The virtual safety car has ended, and Cameron Dowds has gotten a very good restart already, getting 6 tenths between himself and Knuckle. So let's see if he's gonna be able to make the gap a little bit longer, and maybe because of the dirty air, that's gonna be a pretty easy job. But we're gonna have to wait and see with Knuckle how he spaces, and if he's gonna be overtaken by his teammate, because his teammate is really keeping Knuckle under pressure here, because he's just riding close to his diffuser all the time. As I think he is gonna go for the move. He is using ERS. He's trying to go for a dive on the inside line, and Knuckle, I think, just lets him through. So I think that was some team decisions maybe, but I think Knuckle also could just see himself that Drake is faster, and that this was the best choice that he could have gotten for the team. But we also see a battle in the main field with Smikovsky and Mills. I think Smikovsky just got ahead of Luke Mills in the AlphaTauri. Not for points, unfortunately, because points are only awarded from P10 to P1 as follows: 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 15, 18, and 25. You also get a point for pole position and for the fastest lap. So you can also keep that in mind. So Sammy is gonna take a point for the pole position, but the fastest lap point is still to be decided, as we see a Alfa Romeo spinning once again, which is Ducro, and Owen just finishing him. Or just passing him, not finishing him. But this is keeping pretty close. This is sort of reminding me of the esports races, that everyone is just close to one another, as Drake Dempsey has taken the fastest lap of the race in these beginning stages with a 1:19.6. I think that was yeah. So showing that he has the pace compared to Dowds, but I think the dirty air is just compromising him a little bit, and he cannot get closer to the Aston Martin. But yeah, as I was saying before, the grid is just looking very close. I don't think we're gonna see a lot of overtaking happening because this is just a huge DRS train. So we are gonna have to wait until the pit stop range once everyone is gonna switch to the mediums. As we see the second retirement of Ducro, but thankfully he does retire in the pit lane. So no one is gonna be compromised by that, which is very nice to see. But yeah, I think we do see Tony Ridge getting a bit closer to the Ferrari of Arjen Bilbas. He is 2 tenths close. The only problem is that there is a yellow flags in sector 1 because of the Ducro's retirement, so I don't think if anyone wants to go for an overtake they are not gonna be able to because of the flags, which Tony is using ERS. He is not saving any of it while Bilbas is. So maybe just Tony is using a bit of a lower downforce setup, or a bit of a higher downforce setup, so having more pace in the corners and less pace on the straights. As we see a yellow flag with, I think, Robertson. Yes, Robertson, who has spun on the penultimate corner and is now under pressure by Yowen. I think that is going to be a pretty easy overtake by the AlphaTauri driver. He also has a lot of ERS to use, but even with the DRS and the ERS, he's having a hard time catching up or getting ahead of the Haas driver. But with Robertson getting a very bad exit of turn 1, that was a pretty easy overtake indeed. Oh, you can just see him sliding all over the place. That was very tight. He's gonna have to be pretty careful if he wants to finish the race. But yeah, let's see the chat a little bit. You still only get 6 sets, either 4-1-1, 3-2-1, or 2-2-2. For a second set of mediums, you have to select balance or harder before quali. Oh yeah, they also allowed that we can do that as well. Or maybe that was just an option that was disabled in the league, but I know that we couldn't choose the tire compounds before, but now we can. As we see Tony Rich actually getting ahead of Arjen Bilbas, which honestly I completely missed. But yeah, that was a pretty nice move from Tony, and he also overtook him before the third corner. Also putting in purple sectors as Owen takes the fastest lap of the race, but that is to be expected because of the fresh medium tires. So let's see if Tony is gonna be able to do it. Fraser's tire pressure too high, those boots look toasty. Yeah, they do. But speaking of tire pressures, like I said before in the qualifying session, the tire heat up on this track is very aggressive. So I, for example, in the PC F2 race yesterday, was always in the 104 degrees on the fronts. The rears were good, but the fronts were just garbage. They were overheating all the time, and then I was feeling understeer everywhere. And combined with that, the tire wear of the front tires as well is like 5% more than the rears. And then that provides even more understeer. So you really have to be careful how much tire pressures you put on the car to sort of balance both of them, so the overheating doesn't happen and that the tire wear is good. But I didn't see that problem on the hards, which everyone is on at this stage. So maybe at the end of the race, when people are gonna box for mediums and the tire or the track is gonna evolve, maybe that's when the tires are actually gonna be at their optimal point. But let's see here who has improved the most position. Pavlakovic, starting from last position because of the disqualification, has improved 7 positions, but still not in the points, but he is pretty close yet again. And the most positions lost is by Owen Heinen, starting from P5? No, my math is garbage. P7. And going to P16. As we see another yellow flag by an Alfa Romeo. Alfa Romeos are really having a bad race today. Both of them just spinning all over the place, which you don't really want to see. But Cameron Dowd still leading this race. He is, I think, just looking very comfortable, not really making any mistakes, saving a lot of VRS. And you just see that Drake has to use a bunch of his battery to just keep in touch with the Aston Martin, because if he doesn't, he's just gonna lose the DRS, and then it's probably gonna be over. But I think the best plan now for Dempsey is just to wait until the pit stop window is gonna be open, or at least when safety car is gonna come, and then maybe his medium pace is gonna be better than the hards. They were like hell if they overheat, because you just like everywhere gotta. I mean, if you overheated the fronts, then you don't have oversteer. You're not sliding. It's only if you overheated the rears, because I was overheating the fronts and I was just getting a bunch of understeer and not oversteer. If you and then if you overheated the rears, then you get oversteer. As Drake Dempsey was looking for a move on the Aston Martin, but was too far to actually do something, which is very unfortunate. But this just shows that he might actually have more pace than we would have expected. But also behind Mur, Wagoner, also very close to one another. And yeah, just not too many positions are changing in these early stages of the race. So, as I was saying, yeah, basically, if you overheat the fronts, it's understeer, the rears, it's oversteer. As we see someone sliding, who was that? I think that was Knuckle. Just sliding in the end of sector 2. Or, no, that... I really don't know who that was. But that was a nice drift, honestly. Yeah, but understeer in the front is... front sliding, it's the same deal, just... Oh, okay. Okay then. Maybe makes a little bit of sense, but yeah. Drake Dempsey has already used a bunch of his ERS, so he's not gonna be able to do anything. Let's go behind a little bit with Slivka and Robertson. Robertson has fresher and better tires with the mediums. Just getting close to Slivka, but still they are probably gonna be lapped when the pit stops are gonna be, or the pit window is gonna be open. And I don't think they have a chance for points. It's only gonna be if there's gonna be a safety car. But let's go to the Red Bulls as well. They are very close to one another. Let's actually see who has the better pace of the two. And it is Tony Rich. So looks like Grob had better qualifying pace, but Rich has better race pace. So maybe if he gets a bit closer to Grob, as we saw Grob getting a little bit of a little bit of an oversteer moment, then I think we are gonna see a switch in positions between the two. As Robertson retires in the pit lane, very unfortunate for the Haas driver, but he saw that he had no opportunities to do anything. But we also see behind of Tony, Wagoner, who is 5/10 to Marvin Mur, but Marvin also has the arrest to Bilbas, and looks like Marvin actually has pretty good straight line speed here in that Alpine, but still not enough to get close to Bilbas ahead of him. Oh, as we see Grob and Tony fighting side by side in turn 3. They have just switched positions, as Tony Rich is now in P4. I really wonder if they were battling there, or if they just switched positions in the middle of the corner, but looks like they didn't lose too much time. And Wagoner gets a 3-second time penalty, which is the first penalty actually of the race, which is very unfortunate for the Aston Martin driver. But what can you do? If you don't know how penalties work, 2 warnings, and then if you get another one, you get a penalty of 3 seconds. You can also get a penalty for speeding in the pit lane, which is a dry... No, it's a 5-second time penalty. You can also get a drive-through if you exceeded the delta under the VSC and the safety car. And then if you collide with someone during the safety car, you also get a 5-second time penalty, which all 5-second time penalties are served in the pit lane, but the 3-second time penalties are not. So you have to be very mindful there. And then if you get a penalty and you only have 3 warnings, you can also appeal, and you can remove one of the warnings. And then if the stewards find it applicable to remove, if they find a good reason, then or if the person that reports the removal, if he provides a good the discussion, then they can remove the warning and your penalty is gonna be removed. So if Wagner doesn't get another warning, he is gonna be able to remove this penalty. But anyways, we are on lap 12 of 35. Cameron Dowds is still leading in front to 6/10 of Drake Dempsey. And then Sabanakal is in P3, securing the final podium place for Mercedes. Tony Rich is in P4, getting a little bit under pressure from his teammate because he probably thought that he would already be outside of the DRS range. But looks like Grob has picked up the pace a little bit. Next we have Bill Bass in P6, also getting under pressure from Marvin Murr. With Wagner also behind in the Aston Martin. Jonathan Foss running in P9, getting under pressure of Harrington and Williams, also in the final points paying position. Then we have Wojciech Migowski making his debut in PC1 today. This is actually his first race. I am, of course, commentating. Oh wait, I'm having a hard time finding words. I switched positions with him, I think that's how I say it. Like, he's usually the commentator for PC1, but I'm now changing his position. Luke Mills in P12 in the AlphaTauri, getting closer and closer to Voy. Let's see if he's gonna be able to make it stick and get into the DRS range. Kirill Pavlakovic starting last, currently in P13. 3.3 seconds to Luke Mills, so currently not showing the best pace that he has. Jack Andrews also, I think his first race in PC1 today, also pretty far behind, but honestly his pace is not that bad. He's not too far behind of everyone ahead, so maybe if there is gonna be a safety car, maybe he's gonna be able to do something and maybe get himself in the points. Owen Heinen 15 seconds behind Jack Andrews. I think that is probably just gonna be race over for him. Fagali as well, 22 seconds off of Owen. And then Slivka, who is currently the last of the runners, currently running in P17, also way too far behind, and probably gonna be lapped. And then out of the DNFers we have Robertson, Ducro and Borlini, but we saw Borlini not having the best race pace in these last couple of races. He does show pretty average or pretty okay qualified sessions, but in the race he messes up a lot, which he has to get a hold on if he wants to challenge next season for some of the good points. But yeah, that is the quick run around of where the grid stands as of now. And Tony Rich has extended his gap to Grob a little bit. It was 5/10 before at this same corner, now it is 7. So I think slowly but surely he is gonna get outside the DRS range. Next, yeah. So not a lot is happening. Everyone is just close to one another, not really making any overtakes. So yeah, we are just gonna have to wait for. Oh, Cameron Dowds has been overtaken by Drake Dempsey. He made a mistake going into turn 1, and that has lost him the lead as he went wide. But he has more ERS than Drake, so I think he can definitely get this place back very easily on the next straight. As Drake Dempsey, oh, that was a little bit of snap of oversteer going into turn 5, so he has to be careful. Another snap. into turn 6. Jake Dempsey is not feeling very comfortable. Another snap. Yeah, you can just see Jake's just sliding all over the place. I'm honestly confused how he even has the pace with how much he is struggling with these tires. Probably the tires are just overheated. We can see on the steering wheel that they are at 100 degrees. So they are actually at the optimal range where you want them to be. So maybe he's just pushing a bit too much. But let's wait here. Cameron Dowd's only 5/10 behind of the Mercedes driver. Let's see if he's gonna use any of the ERS. And no, he isn't. He's gonna still stay behind. Which is very interesting, as we see the Alfa Romeo of Gali again spin and on the second DRS straight, as we see Smigowski actually going into the pit lane, who is gonna have hards. But let's get to this battle very quickly, as Jonathan Foss and Harrington are battling here, as Jonathan Foss has done very well to defend, as Jake Dempsey gets a 3-second time penalty. Oh, that's gonna be a turn of that's gonna be a turn of events here. That's the first time I'm seeing Drake get a penalty. And you say that esports drivers don't get penalties. But at least he did get that penalty, but at least he is nearly outside of the DRS range of Cameron Dowd. But yeah, Cameron is just using a lot of his DRS, so he can just close it back. But Cameron or Drake might actually get DRS off of the Alfa Romeo here. And yeah, he does. He gets DRS, but Fegali is not moving away. He's not letting people through. Oh, now he is. There we go. If you don't let people through, you are gonna get a penalty awarded to your name. I think that might be just his AI driving, because that throttle is very interesting. But like I said, Dempsey did get DRS, and Fegali retired on track. That is not allowed, but thankfully no safety car. No safety car has been brought because of that incident, so that's at least one positive. But Harrington has gotten himself ahead of the Ferrari of Jonathan Foss, so if he finishes in this position, he is gonna get 2 points added to his name at the end of the race. But Jonathan Foss is still in the points paying position in P10, so he didn't really lose too much. So that's nice to see, of course. We might also do some interviews at the end. I'm gonna have to wait and see. Maybe not, maybe yes. We'll see. But honestly, I'm kinda sad, because right when the PC1 race is happening is also when Croatia versus Canada match is happening. And because I'm from Croatia, I really wanted to see that match, but I don't really like football at all, so I really don't mind. But as I received the news a couple of seconds before now, Croatia's leading 2-1, so that's nice to see. That Croatia is at least doing something good. Maybe just yeah. I don't know what I'm talking about. But yeah, it's a shame that I cannot see that match now, because I really wanted to see it. But it is interesting. But yeah, the pit stop window should be open very quickly now. I think for the hard runners it's gonna be open in like lap 19 or lap 20. Somewhere around that point. The mediums can last around 15 to 16 laps. It's not too long. So I think we are gonna see some people going into the pit lane. As we do, we see Cameron Dowd and Drake Dempsey going into the pit lane. Pretty early, if I say so myself. I would have probably gotten in like lap 19, or now actually. But they do go on mediums. But oh, Drake Dempsey gets caught, gets held by Tony Rich. That might lose him the lead, and it does. Oh, that's gonna be bad for Dempsey. Cameron and Dempsey switch positions in the pit lane because Drake was held up. That was very interesting. But now they have fresh mediums. Let's see how much time they are gonna gain, and let's see if Knuckle staying out actually proved beneficial. I mean, he couldn't have also gotten into the pit lane B because he would have been held by his teammates, so he would have just lost a lot of time. But let's see if staying out was the better choice, as he improves 4 tenths. 4 tenths by just running in clean air. He was just like fully pushing the slap. So let's see if he's gonna go in. Yes, he does go in, and let's just keep on board with him. Let's see if he's gonna be ahead or if he's gonna emerge behind of both Cameron and Dempsey, as he puts mediums, which is, of course, we see on the map that Cameron and Dempsey are closing in very quickly. Thankfully for Knuckle, he didn't get blocked by a Red Bull like his teammate did. And this is gonna be very close. Is he gonna emerge ahead? As these two are battling side by side, as Dempsey was trying to just do a switchback somehow, as he does overtake Cameron for the lead. He also has the RS in the second straight to defend, and he makes it stick. Somehow, I honestly don't know how. I really thought that they would collide going into turn 1. But Knuckle doesn't get ahead of them, but he does have fresher tires than both of them, so maybe he can do something with that in mind. So maybe he can be a little bit faster at the end of the race, and when the tires are gonna be heated up. But now maybe the best strategy for Dempsey, because I think everyone knows that he is not gonna be able to get himself out of the 3-second range of doubts. Maybe holding up Cameron and getting Knuckle as close as possible to Cameron, and maybe securing that Knuckle wins the race. Maybe that's gonna be the best strategy here. But we're gonna have to wait and see, as Bilbas and Pavlakovic go side by side, going into Sector 3, and Pavlakovic is actually gonna lose 2 positions from Bilbas and Wagner, as Wagner goes around the outside of the Williams, makes a very nice move where I definitely wouldn't have the courage to go. That is a very nice move by the Aston Martin. But Pavlakovic hasn't pitted yet, so I mean that's one indication of why he was losing a lot of time there. But let's see here. Knuckle not really gaining a lot of time to the guys ahead, still just in the DRS range of Cameron, but I don't think he's gonna be able to do anything. But I mean, a double podium for Mercedes is gonna be good. Like, there's not a lot that you can ask. It is gonna be good in the constructors. As we see Grob and Luke Mills. Luke Mills also another guy that hasn't stopped yet. Oh, defending very, very heavily, very aggressively. The AlphaTauri is. And Grob is gonna lose a lot of time just staying behind. Is he gonna make a move like Wagner? No, he's gonna try to go down the inside. Luke Mills does leave the space open, and he makes it stick. But Luke Mills is still not going in for his pit stop. Is he maybe trying to get himself for the softs? That's an interesting call. Or maybe he's just waiting for the safety car as he tries to go for another move on the Red Bull. Is he gonna be able to make it stick? No, he just gets horrible traction compared to Grob, and he's gonna have to stay in P6. And because Grob has pressure tires, I think he's just gonna lose everything here now. And now he's gonna be under pressure from Bilbas behind, who also is on pressure tires. So he's gonna have to be very careful. But let's get to the front pack a little bit. Knuckle has improved 4 tenths to Cameron Dowd, so he is finding a little bit of pace. But like I said before, the dirty air is just compromising all of that. There is probably no way that he's gonna be able to make this stick. But at least Dempsey, by the looks of things, is a 3 seconds from Tony. So if the things stay this way, Cameron is Cameron or Dempsey crashes. I have no words. That's gonna be incredible. Oh no, Luke Mills just missed the pit entry, but Pavlakovic at least didn't. Let's see if he's gonna pit for mediums or the softs. Let's see here, but Jesus Christ, I didn't expect that from Drake. I mean, we saw how much he was struggling with the car. Like, it was all over the place. The backhand was just sliding all over the place. But to go out this way, that's just unfortunate for the esports for the esports driver. I was totally not expecting that. But this has now opened this like fully. The book has been opened with the safety car. And like I said before, Luke Mills is gonna benefit a lot by this safety car, as Pavlakovic also did. He is now in P10, as he was in P13, and now the safety car is gonna bunch everyone up, so everyone's gonna have another opportunity as Andrews pits for softs. Dude, those softs are not gonna go to the end of the race. No way, no shot. If they do, like, I'm gonna be shocked. But let's see if anyone else is gonna go win. Doubts, Knuckle, Rich, don't. Grub also, Bill Bass, no. But Luke Mills is definitely gonna go in. Let's see which tires he's gonna put on. He's gonna emerge right ahead of Pavlakovic, I think. So that is gonna be an improvement from before. Let's see. He is putting mediums on. So he's definitely taking the safe route to go to the end. He was also very close to being ahead of Jonathan Voss, but that didn't happen, unfortunately. But Slivka has been lapped. Oh, that is very unfortunate. I don't think people are gonna let him through to unlap himself. So his race is definitely over. But yeah, we have a safety car. It is lap 24 out of 35. With a very unexpected turn of events, with Drake Dempsey retiring, being our first retirement of the race. But this is at least gonna punch the back up. Some people that weren't in the fight before are gonna be in now. And yeah, we'll just have to wait and see if we're gonna have any more incidents. But yeah, Cameron Dowd is gonna be our leader in the safety car pack, so he's also gonna provide us with the restart after the safety car is gonna go in. Knuckle still follows him right behind in P2, but he does have the back marker of Slivka in between both of them, so that might compromise his start or his restart a little bit. But then we see Tony Rich in P3, Grob in P4, Bill Bass in P5, Wagner in P6, Marunber in P7, Jonathan in P8, Mills in P9, Pavlakovic in P10, Harrington in P11, Stremigovsky in P12, Heinen in P13, Andrews P14, and Slivka, unfortunately, his race is definitely ruined in P15. So yeah, what are your predictions now? Who is gonna win? It was very clear that it was gonna be Dowds, but now honestly I'm not sure. In qualifying we saw like people just having a lot of pace and being so close to each other. I think it's anyone's game now after the safety car restart. It's only gonna be if Cameron is gonna be able to make a good restart of the line. But if he doesn't, it's anyone's game. But yeah, everyone is on mediums. The only one on softs is Jack Andrews. I don't think that was a smart decision, because those tires are definitely not gonna go to the end. But he is gonna have the tire advantage off of everyone else in these beginning stages. But the safety car is gonna come in this lap, so his tire wear is gonna be huge at the end of the race, and he might be in the puncture zone. And there we go, safety car in this lap. Like I said before, Dowds is gonna lead us with this restart, and let's see when is he gonna go. Is he gonna go early? Is he gonna go late? Is he gonna go right off the finish line? We're gonna have to see all of that in just a few seconds. While the safety car is just getting into the pit lane, Cameron is holding everyone up very, very tightly to each other. And oh, I think he's going. He is going. It's already 1 second to Knuckle. So he's already out of the DRS range. Let's see if Knuckle is gonna overtake Slivka. Yes, he is. Slivka is just gonna let everyone through here. He just stops dead on track. But because of that, Knuckle has gotten himself, or Dowds has gotten himself out of the DRS range of Knuckle. So I think the win is decided, but now the battle for the podium places is on, with Knuckle, Rich and Grob looking very, very competitive here in these final stages of the race. So let's see if both of the Red Bulls are gonna be able to overtake him. Looks like Knuckle is losing a little bit of time to Tony and Dowds, so I think they do have a little bit of chance to do it. As we also see a battle in the midfield, Marvin were getting closer and closer to Wagner, as Foss is doing the same thing to Marvin. But we see Jack Andrews really struggling with the softs, which I was totally not expecting. I thought that he would at least improve 1 or 2 positions, but we can see now that the softs were not the way to go. Or he just doesn't have the pace, which is very unfortunate to see about House Driver. Let's see here, the DRS is of course not enabled. DRS enables on the 3rd lap after the safety car goes in. So basically like the start of the race. So I think just saving DRS for everyone is gonna be the main point here, as Knuckle has lowered the gap between himself and Cameron to 9/10. So not a lot, but at least he is still in the DRS range, which is very positive for the Mercedes. But he is not saving DRS, but Cameron is also not, with Rich also and Grob also. But we're not seeing a lot of positions changing in this safety car restart. I really thought that people would be like just going on each other, doing some dive bombs into turn 1, but they are keeping it clean, which is nice to see. It is nice to see. But in the midfield, Pavlakovic still in P10. He's gonna get 1 point. Maybe he does have the opportunity to overtake Luke Mills right ahead of him, as the DRS has been enabled this lap, so we are gonna be able to use it next lap actually, because there's no DRS detection point before turn 1. You only have 1 detection point, which determines that you have both DRSs in both zones. So yeah, but we also see Harrington having a bit better pace than Pavlakovic. So we're gonna have to see what's gonna happen there. But Tony has dropped off of the DRS range of Knuckle, as Owen gets a 3-second time pit penalty, the second guy to get one. But yeah, this is actually good for Knuckle, as maybe Cameron doesn't have the clear win ahead of him. Maybe that Knuckle still has a little bit of chance to challenge for P1, which is probably unlikely, but I think it's all to play for here in these final 7 laps of the race. And in the points currently, Cameron Dowds is leading, Knuckle in P2, Rich in the final podium position, with Grob in P4, Bilbas in P5. Wagner with the 3-second time penalty will drop it down all the way to P9. Moore in P7, Foss in P8, Mills in P9, and Pavlakovic in the final points main position in P10. Which, by the bad qualifying session he had and the bad race in the beginning he had, I think he's gonna be happy to have at least 1 point added to his name. I think he is gonna be pretty happy about that. But yeah, Knuckle still improving, still getting a lot of time to doubts. Looks like these final stages are actually way better for the Mercedes driver. He also has way more ERS than Dowds, so maybe something is gonna happen here. If Drake couldn't win, maybe Knuckle can win. Let's see. Cameron has a very nice line on the penultimate corner. Got him a very good exit, of course. But let's see how much the DRS is actually gonna give for Knuckle. It got him around 3/10, which is nice to see. So if he gets a little bit closer, he can maybe try to go for a move down the inside, maybe even outside, as we saw. Cameron is defending very, very aggressively, just switching positions all around left to right. So I think around the outside, like Drake did, is gonna be the best choice for Knuckle. As we have a yellow flag, it is gonna be Andrews retiring. Is that gonna bring us another safety car? It does! Oh, now things are gonna be switched around because people are not gonna pit for softs, or at least I think they are. If they are not, they are just gonna. I mean, this is probably one of the only tracks where pitting for softs is not a good idea because you cannot overtake anywhere, only on the start-finish straight. So I think we are gonna see probably the top 4 staying out, but then below, like Bale, Bass, Wagner, all of them are gonna pit. But we're gonna see here. And Cameron Dodds does stay out, as well as Sammy, Rich also, and Grob also. As Leifka does get a drive-through penalty for speeding under the pit lane. And not a lot of people are actually pitting, which was very... I mean, I did predict that, but honestly, I'm surprised. Only 3 people have pitted, or 4 actually, with Wagner, Harrington, Smigowski didn't pit. So only Wagner, Harrington, Owen, and Slivka. Okay then. Like I said, I did predict it, but I'm still surprised. I'm still surprised that I got it right for once. I usually get things wrong all the time. But I think we actually might see the safety car come in this lap already, because the pack is gonna be bunched up right before turn, right before sector 3. So maybe we're already gonna see the safety car come in this lap, and if it doesn't come in this lap, it has to go on lap 33. It is mandatory that it does. But yeah, Cameron is gonna lead the restart once again, and we're not gonna get any DRS probably. Only on the final lap, if it goes next lap for the restart. So we're only gonna have the DRS on the final lap, lap 35. So Knuckle is probably not gonna have an opportunity to make a move, because we saw that his straight line speed is very good, and that's the only place where he's improving compared to Cameron. Everywhere else he is pretty slow, honestly. But yeah, we're just gonna have to wait and see, and we're gonna see how the soft runners also are gonna cope. If Wagner, Harrington, and Owen are gonna be able to improve any positions. The only problems are that Wagner and Owen do have those penalties, so even if they do improve any positions, they are gonna lose them later because of the penalties. But while we're waiting for the safety car to come in this lap, let's check the penalties very quickly. Wagner and Owen 3 seconds, and Slivka the drive-through penalty. Honestly, not too many penalties as I was expecting. And we can also count in Drake, who got also a 3-second time penalty, but he retired, so maybe not. But the fastest lap currently is being held by Tony Rich, but I think that might be taken by one of the soft runners, as Jack Andrews has left the session, but he did retire, so it's not that big of a problem. But yeah, that fast lap is definitely gonna be taken away, and that is gonna be 1 point awarded to whoever takes it. You can also get it, the fast lap point, even if you're not in the top 10. So even like Slivka can go and try to take the fast lap if he really wants to, and he would get the point. But oh, Smigovsky has lost 2 positions, which is interesting. I wonder what happened there. But the safety car should come in this lap. Let's see the indication, and there we go. It is coming in this lap. We are gonna follow on board with Cameron Dowds for another restart here. Let's see if pitting has paid off for the soft runners, and let's see if maybe not pitting was the wrong call, as Cameron Dowds holding everyone up again. And let's see actually if he's gonna do the same thing that he did last time, just go in on the final corner just fully. If he does so, Knuckle is not gonna be confused like before, and he does the same thing, there we go. But he doesn't gain too much time as previously, and we see the straight line speed of the Mercedes going in handy here. Oh, he does a big dive bomb, makes contact with someone, I don't know who, but then Tony also makes contact with the Mercedes and takes P2 for himself, and Grob also has overtaken him. We also see Bailbas and Knuckle also going side by side into turn 3. Who's gonna be able to make the stick? Is he gonna be able to defend? He pushes him fully wide of the track, and he is gonna stay P4, but very unfortunate for the Mercedes, as he just went for a move that wasn't there. He just lost himself a P2 position, as he nearly just crashes as well, as he lost the back end of the car. We saw that happening with Drake, so maybe that Mercedes is not good to drive. It's probably a handful. But Marvin Murr now also very close to overtaking Bill Bass for the position. He could get himself into P5, but I think that just is gonna be it for Cameron. I think the win is definitely gonna be his now, because I don't think Tony and Grob have the pace to challenge for the win. So I think things are gonna stay this way. But the soft runners have improved a little bit, with Wagner being P8, Harrington P9, and Owen in P10. But they are battling here, as Jonathan Foss is now under pressure from Wagner. He is gonna be overtaken by the Aston Martin driver, but Johnny does have the outside line. Is he gonna be able to make it stick? No, he's gonna have to withhold that position and give it to Wagner. Harrington also is being pretty impatient, getting as close as possible to Jonathan and his diffuser. And yeah, you don't wanna make a move here, as Grob takes a 3-second time penalty. So Knuckle is still gonna be in the podium positions, as Owen crashes in turn 5. That is very unfortunate. He was running in the points, but because of that penalty he probably would have been demoted. But yeah, Grob is not gonna be on the podium now, and it is gonna bump up a lot of people up the grid. But let's see here, Wagner, is he gonna be able to make the move here? No, and that is very good that he backed off, because that's not a place where you wanna overtake. Can we see Wagner going on another move on the outside here, as he makes contact with the Alpine, which you don't really want to see. But yeah, here we are. DRS has been enabled, and we're actually not gonna be able to use any DRS, because it's the final lap. Cameron is still leading outside the DRS range, but we also see behind Harrington and Foss. Harrington is gonna try to go for the switchback. He's gonna be able to make it stick for P8, as they still go side by side, but also right ahead Wagner is also going side by side. as Harrington is not gonna be able to make it stick, but Wagner is. Wagner puts himself in the P6, but he does have that penalty, which is gonna put him right below the points. He might only get 1 point because of this. But let's get ahead here. We are on board with Cameron Dowds, as he was just controlling the entire race. He had a tight battle with Jake Dempsey in the middle stages of the race. He did have a pretty good battle with Knuckle, but he was just having his own pace this race. He was controlling the whole race, and I think this is a very, very well-deserved win for the Aston Martin driver as he goes to the final corner, as we see a spinner of Harrington, but Dowds is gonna win the Hungarian Grand Prix with Tony Rich in P2, Grob finishes P3, but because of the penalty, Knuckle is still gonna be in the points, even with the collision with Tony Rich and locking up in the first corner, as Bill Bass finishes P4, Marvin Murr is gonna be P5, Grob P6, Jonathan Foss P7, Smigovsky in P8, Wagner in P9, and Luke Mills in the final points paying position. But unfortunate for Harrington, as he spun on the penultimate corner, he drops himself out of the points, and we are just waiting for Pavlakovic to cross the finish line. Also unfortunate for the Williams driver, because he was looking to get some points, but I didn't get what happened and he had to pit again. But this race was pretty interesting, and Pavlakovic gets driver of the day. I mean, it is ununderstandable, he did start last and finished P12, but I would honestly give that to Cameron. He was just controlling the whole race. He was in a league of his own, we can say, and that was a very dominant performance from the Aston Martin driver, and again, congratulations to him for the win. I'm probably not gonna do any interviews. I'm pretty bad with questions, and I do need to go. So interviews are not gonna be happening, unfortunately. But the first lap goes to Pavlakovic, so he is at least gonna get 1 point for something. Let's just get the race director, and there we go. So, once again, Cameron Dowds wins the Hungarian Grand Prix, Tony Rich follows him right behind in P2, and Knuckle takes the final podium position. Bale Bass is gonna finish P4, Marvin Murr P5, Grob P6, Foss P7, Smigovsky P8, Wagner P9, Mills P10, Harrington P11, Pavlakovic P12, Slivka P13, Owen in P14, Jack Andrews P15, Drake in P16, Fegali P17, Robertson P18, Ducros P19, and Berlini P20, and off of the DNFers, it is Owen, Andrews, Dempsey, Fegali, Robertson, Ducros, and Berlini being the first guy that retired. So, like I said before, not a bad race. There wasn't a lot of action going on, of course, which is a bit of a shame, but it was very nice to see that people were very, very close all the time in qualifying and in the race. So, at least that's one positive. So yeah, that is gonna be it for this Hungarian Grand Prix. Before we run things off, I would just like to say thank you everybody so much for watching. If you haven't, leave a like and subscribe to the channel, it really helps us out. You can also follow our partners in the links down below: Gridfinder, Body Domania, Discord, and JR Designs. You can also support us on Patreon, give some donations, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We are pretty active there, so you can keep up to date with any news that happened off track and maybe on track, if you cannot watch the streams. And yeah, you can also join our Discord, the official Discord, if you want to race, or maybe you just want to help out with the commentaries, maybe other stuff also, like stand-in director and whatnot. So you can also join that through our official Discord channel, and yeah, that is gonna be it. Again, thank you everybody so much for watching. I hope that you have enjoyed it like I did, and we're gonna see you next time for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Stay safe everyone, and have a good night.